you own. See, people walk around worried about their cars, worried about their houses, worried about their clothes. They spend all their time and energy protecting things that depreciate, things that can be taken away, things that eventually fall apart. But let me tell you something that will change how you see everything. The most expensive thing you will ever own sits right between your ears. And most people treat it like a storage unit they forgot they had. You got all this space up there, all this potential, all this capacity for greatness, and you're filling it with nonsense. Think about what you put in your mind daily. You're filling it with gossip. You're filling it with negativity. You're filling it with drama from people who are not even going anywhere themselves. You're filling it with stuff that does not add $1 to your bank account or 1 ounce of peace to your soul. And then you wonder why your life is not changing. You wonder why you feel stuck. You wonder why you keep attracting the same problems over and over again. It is because you have not changed what you are putting into your most valuable asset. Start treating your mind like the $1 million property it actually is. If you owned $1 million house, would you let just anybody walk in and throw trash on the floor? Would you let people come in and break windows and mess up the furniture? Of course you would not. You would protect that property. You would maintain it. You would make sure only the right things and the right people got through that door. That is exactly how you need to treat your mind. Guard it. Protect it. Be intentional about what you allow in. The information you consume shapes your thoughts. Your thoughts shape your beliefs. Your beliefs shape your actions. And your actions shape your entire life. So if you keep putting garbage in, you are going to keep getting garbage out. It is that simple. But if you start putting knowledge in, if you start putting wisdom in, if you start putting positivity and education and growth material into your mind, everything starts to shift. Your conversations change. Your ideas change. Your opportunities change. It all starts with what you feed your brain. I am telling you right now, the most successful people I have ever met are obsessed with learning. They are obsessed with growing. They treat their minds like athletes treat their bodies. They train every single day. They push themselves to learn new things. They challenge their own thinking. They read books that stretch their understanding. And that is why they keep rising while everybody else stays stuck in the same place year after year. Now, here is where people get confused. And this is the second thing I need you to understand. Education does not stop when school ends. So many people think education ended when they walked across that stage. They think that because they got a diploma or a degree hanging on their wall, they are done learning. They act like graduating was the finish line instead of the starting line. Baby, let me tell you something that nobody probably told you. That piece of paper was just the warm up. School just taught you how to learn. It gave you the basic tools. But the real education happens after you leave those classrooms. Life is the real classroom. The streets are a classroom. Your relationships are a classroom. Your workplace is a classroom. Your failures, oh, those are definitely classrooms, some of the best ones you will ever attend. Every situation you go through is trying to teach you something. Every person you meet has a lesson attached to them. The question is, are you paying attention? Are you showing up to class ready to learn? Or are you skipping through life and then wondering why you keep failing the same tests over and over again? Some of the smartest people I know never finished college. And some of the most clueless people I know have multiple degrees. Because formal education only takes you so far. It is your commitment to lifelong learning that determines how far you actually go. The person who reads one book a month for 10 years will be miles ahead of the person who stopped learning after graduation. The person who studies their craft every single day will master their industry while everybody else stays average. The world is changing faster than it ever has before. Industries are transforming. Technology is evolving. The skills that got you a job today might be obsolete in 5 years. If you are not learning, you are falling behind. If you are not growing, you are shrinking. There is no standing still in this world. You are either moving forward or you are moving backward. And the people who understand this are the ones who stay relevant, who stay valuable, who keep getting opportunities while everyone else wonders what happened. I want you to adopt a student mentality for the rest of your life. No matter how successful you become, no matter how much money you make, no matter how many people know your name, stay humble enough to keep learning. Stay hungry enough to keep growing. The moment you think you know everything is the moment you become irrelevant. Pride has killed more potential than failure ever has. So check your ego at the door and commit to being a lifelong learner. Every single day, ask yourself what you learned. What new piece of information did you pick up? What new skill did you practice? What new perspective did you gain? If you cannot answer that question, you wasted that day. I know that sounds harsh, but it is the truth. Days without learning are days without growth. And days without growth are days that take you further from your purpose. Make every day count by making sure you learn something. Read something every single day. I do not care if it is 10 pages. I do not care if it is 5 pages. I do not care if it is 1 chapter or 1 article. Read something every day that makes you better than you were when you woke up. This habit alone will separate you from 90% of people out there. Because most people do not read. They have not picked up a book since they were forced to in school. And their lives reflect that lack of knowledge. Read about money, read about health, read about communication, read about leadership, read about history so you can understand how we got here and where we might be going. Read about people who came from nothing and built empires from the ground up. When you read about their journey, when you study their struggles, when you see how they overcame obstacles that seemed impossible, you start believing in your own potential. Their stories become fuel for your fire. Their victories become evidence that your dreams are possible. The average millionaire reads 4 to 5 books a month. Meanwhile, the average person watches 4 to 5 hours of television a day. That is not a coincidence. How you spend your time determines what you learn, and what you learn determines what you earn. I am not saying watch television. I am not saying relax and enjoy entertainment. But I am saying you need to balance it with intentional learning. You need to dedicate time every single day to reading and growing. Some books will teach you in 1 week what it took someone 30 years to learn. Think about that. You can download decades of experience and wisdom in a matter of days just by reading. You can learn from the mistakes of others so you do not have to make them yourself. You can gain insights that would have taken you years to figure out on your own. Reading is the shortcut that most people are too lazy to take. Do not be one of those people. Start building a personal library. Keep books around you at all times. Have a book in your car. Have a book by your bed. Have a book in your bag. When you have a few spare minutes, instead of scrolling through your phone, looking at what everyone else is doing, pick up that book and invest in yourself. Those little pockets of time add up. 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there, and before you know it, you have read 50 books in a year. That is 50 different perspectives, 50 different teachers, 50 different opportunities for growth. The right book at the right time can literally change the trajectory of your life. I have read books that completely shifted how I see the world. I have read books that helped me through my darkest moments. I have read books that gave me ideas that made me money. I have read books that saved my relationships, that improved my health, and that strengthened my faith. If you are going through something right now, I promise you there is a book out there that addresses it. Someone has already gone through what you are facing, and they wrote about it so you could learn. Go find those books. Your circle should be teaching you something. Look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. Really think about who they are and what they bring to the table. Now, ask yourself a serious question. What did I learn from them this week? What value did they add to my life? What knowledge did they share that helped me grow? If you cannot answer that question, if you are sitting there struggling to think of one thing, you might need to reconsider who you are giving your time and energy to. I am not saying cut people off for no reason. I am not saying abandon your friends and family because they are not millionaires. That is not what this is about. But I am saying your time is precious. Your time is the one resource you can never get back. Every hour you spend is an hour you will never see again. So if you are spending all your time with people who only want to talk about problems, but never solutions, you are going to stay stuck right where you are. If you are surrounded by people who have no ambition, who have no drive, who have no desire to grow, their mindset is going to infect you. You become who you spend time with. This is not just a cute saying, this is psychology. This is science. The people around you influence your thoughts, your beliefs, your habits, and your actions. If everyone around you is complaining, you will start complaining. If everyone around you is making excuses, you will start making excuses. If everyone around you is playing small, you will start playing small. But if you surround yourself with people who are learning, who are growing, who are building, who are winning, you will rise to that level. Find people who challenge you. Find people who inspire you. Find people who make you uncomfortable because they are operating at a higher level than you. Those are the people who will push you to become better. Those are the people who will introduce you to new ideas and new opportunities. Those are the people who will hold you accountable when you want to slack off. Iron sharpens iron. You need sharp people around you if you want to stay sharp yourself. This does not mean you have to know these people personally. In today's world, you can learn from anyone. Listen to podcasts from people who are where you want to be. Watch interviews with leaders in your industry. Read books from mentors you will never meet in person. Build a virtual circle of people who are pouring wisdom into your life, even if they do not know you exist. The information is available. The question is whether you will access it. But for those people who are in your physical space, the ones who get your time and energy every day, be intentional about those relationships. Evaluate whether they are helping you grow or keeping you stuck. And have the courage to distance yourself from relationships that are pulling you down. I know it is hard. I know some ties feel impossible to cut, but your future depends on it. Your dreams depend on it. Your growth depends on it. Choose your circle wisely. Ignorance is the most expensive thing in the world. You know what costs more than college tuition? Not knowing. You know what costs more than books, courses, and seminars? Remaining clueless about things that matter. Every area of your life where you are struggling, I guarantee there is something you do not know that could help you. Every problem you are facing right now has a solution that exists somewhere in the form of knowledge. Not knowing how taxes work will cost you thousands of dollars over your lifetime. Not knowing how to communicate with your spouse will cost you your marriage. Not knowing how to negotiate your salary will cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars over your career. Not knowing how to take care of your body will cost you your health. Not knowing how to manage your money will cost you your future. Ignorance has a price tag, and it is higher than any book or course or coach you could ever invest in. People will spend money on everything except their own education. They will buy clothes they do not need, cars they cannot afford, and meals they forget about the next day. But ask them to spend money on a book, on a seminar, on a training program, and suddenly they are too broke. Suddenly, they cannot afford it. Suddenly, it is not the right time. But let me tell you something, you cannot afford to stay ignorant. You cannot afford to keep making the same mistakes because you refuse to learn. The information is out there. Whatever you need to know, someone has already figured it out and made it available. How to start a business, how to invest in real estate, how to fix your credit, how to improve your health, how to be a better parent, how to build wealth. All of it is available. Libraries are free. The internet is free. YouTube has more educational content than you could consume in a lifetime. The resources are there. You just have to care enough about your future to access them. Think about how much money you have lost because of what you did not know. Think about the opportunities you missed because you were not prepared. Think about the relationships you damaged because you did not understand how to communicate. Think about the mistakes you made that you could have avoided if someone had taught you better. That is the real cost of ignorance. It is not just about money. It is about the quality of life. It is about peace of mind. It is about reaching your potential. Comment right now that you will never let not knowing be the reason you fail. If there is something you need to understand, go learn it. If there is a skill you need to develop, go practice it. If there is wisdom you need to gain, go seek it out. Take responsibility for your own education. Do not wait for someone to teach you. Do not wait for the perfect opportunity. Be proactive about filling the gaps in your knowledge. Your future self will thank you. Learn from your failures like your life depends on it. Because it does. Every single time you fail at something, there is a lesson sitting right there waiting for you. The failure is not the enemy. The failure is the teacher. But most people are so busy being embarrassed, so busy being ashamed, so busy blaming everybody else for what went wrong that they miss the lesson completely. And then they wonder why they keep ending up in the same situations. You know what happens when you miss the lesson? Life gives you the same test again and again, until you finally pay attention. Life is persistent like that. It will keep putting you in the same circumstances, keep bringing the same types of people into your world, and keep presenting the same challenges until you learn what you need to learn. So you can either learn it the first time and move forward, or you can keep repeating the same grade over and over while everyone else advances. Every successful person has a trail of failures behind them. They failed more than the average person even attempts. But the difference is that they treated each failure as a classroom. They asked themselves what went wrong. They analyzed their mistakes. They figured out what they needed to change. And then they adjusted and tried again with new knowledge. That is how you win in life, not by avoiding failure, because that is impossible, but by extracting every possible lesson from every failure you experience. Stop hiding from your failures. Stop being ashamed of them. Stop pretending they did not happen. Own them, examine them, learn from them. Some of the best lessons I ever learned came from my worst moments. Some of the greatest wisdom I carry came from my biggest mistakes. I would not trade those failures for anything because they taught me what success never could. They humbled me. They strengthened me. They prepared me for what was coming next. Start keeping a record of your lessons. When something goes wrong, write down what happened and what you learned from it. When a relationship fails, write down what you could have done differently. When a business idea does not work out, write down what you now understand that you did not understand before. Build a personal database of wisdom that you can reference throughout your life. Your failures become valuable when you transform them into lessons. The people who never learn from their failures are destined to repeat them forever. They keep dating the same type of person. They keep making the same financial mistakes. They keep falling into the same patterns. They keep getting the same results. Meanwhile, the people who pay attention to their failures, who take responsibility, who ask the hard questions, they keep leveling up. They keep growing. They keep improving.